Future Sinful here. So a little bit of backstory. I had a really terrible time in the end of 2020, and I ended up getting evicted from my house, and a lot of terrible things happened. And I recorded the video you're about to watch in September of 2020, and I put a lot of effort and love into it, so I really want you guys to see it, and I don't want it to go to waste. Everything's more or less alright now. Uh, Two fair warnings though. The video contains a couple of outdated information and like stuff related to Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and also there's an emphasis on streaming content, which unfortunately I won't be able to provide just yet. Not quite ready to come back to streaming, but I hope you guys enjoy the video. It made me happy to make, so I hope you guys also have a good time with it. Keep it simple, keep it classy. Enjoy what the man from the past has to say to you. Oh, also very important, it was the last recording I ever did at the old place in my dankest dungeon. So this one's for you, my old streaming room. Hey guys, I have a confession to make. I really, really love fighting games, but I am complete and utter trash with
Round one!
them. And despite that, I still really enjoy them. And I think a lot of that, it comes from like the story. I'm not talking about like shitty fighting game story. I'm talking about like watching tournaments and having your own moments and playing them. They're so powerful. Fighting games have heroes and villains. They have the old guard crushing the new guard and proving that they're still on top. They have unbelievable comebacks. And they have just such insane knowledge and depth that people pull something completely out of nowhere and shock everyone, only to laugh about it later, going, yeah, of course. This is how it's always supposed to work. And there's no other game, or there's no other like series or type of interaction other than fighting games where you get that visceral feeling. Because when it comes down to it, it's just you, your opponent, and the game. Then that's it. And that's so amazing. So you might be wondering, why are you doing this? Or what's the point of bringing up all this love of fighting games? Personally, there is so much resources out there on the internet for people like me who want to get into fighting games. But they're all made by all these high-minded, skilled individuals. I feel like there's almost no content out there of a scrub like me who can't play to save their life out there trying to learn and share that kind of a noob's journey out there with everybody else. And because of that, I kind of wanted to stream the whole thing until I get good enough. I want you guys to actually see the trials and tribulations. Like, how difficult is it to get into fighting games if you're like me and have always been daunted by it? Or can you still learn with these boomer-ass hands of mine? There's so much out there that you can really gain from this. As for my own kind of personal stories, there's two things that happened in my life that made me really love fighting games. And one of them is my dad. My dad grew up not owning much, pretty poor guy, but he did own a SNES. And one of the only two games he had on that thing was Street Fighter 2. So as a kid, I played some Street Fighter 2 on his old SNES, and we had a wonderful time. Now, a decade later, I'm probably in high school at this point. I'm coming home from GameStop, or in Canada it's called EB Games, don't get too political about it, but I'm reading the back of the cover of Street Fighter 4, the original, not Championship, Arcade, Ultimate, whatever edition, the original. I'm looking at all these new characters and smiling and so excited to play. And my dad realizes, hey, Ryu, Ken, Blanca, Street Fighter? That's what you bought? You bought Street Fighter? And I go, yeah, I did. You want to play some when we get home? And my dad hates, or doesn't hate, but he doesn't understand video games. And realistically, it's almost impossible to get him to play anything. But he wanted to play Street Fighter because he knew it. He understood it. And when he picked up his controller and he locked in Blanca, his favorite character, because all he cared about when playing in the arcade machines back as a kid was breaking that stupid car in the bonus minigame in arcade mode. And the only two characters he could do that with consistently were Honda and Blanca by spamming the sumo fists and the lightning. We got into a game. I jump up, heavy kick, and he counters with Blanca lightning. And the look on his face was so magical. Like, the fact that he's able to do that again after 10 years and nothing has changed. You can only get that in fighting games. And then I did it again. I jumped in. Didn't do anything. He Blanca lightnings. And I sweep. And I will never forget the look on his face, not knowing that that was possible, despite it was possible even 10 years ago. That story kind of leads me into another point. There's this universal language of fighting games. It's one of these things where, regardless of what fighting game you've played, everyone kind of just gets it. And you have this ability of, no matter how long it's been, or what game you're playing or transitioning to, you can understand things. The fact that my dad can still do moves without ever touching controller for 10 plus years, this goes to show how ingrained a fighting game can be into you. Like, hear me out. Go up to your friend who's really familiar with fighting games, everyone's got at least one, and just say the words empty jump low. And just look at the reaction on their face. It'll be something like your favorite e-girl realizing that their number one simp can't pay their Patreon next month. It's amazing. Honestly, it's so cool to me that you can just have the word DP, a dragon punch, and no matter what game you play, when you hear those two letters, you know exactly what that move will be. You roughly know what input they needed to do it. And even if you're playing something like really simple and the DP motion is gone, the properties of that move are like universal. Like, it'll always be that way in every single game you play. Why am I trying to get into fighting games now? I mean, the Rona. We're all stuck inside. There's nothing really better to do. And despite having played fighting games since childhood, since I was maybe like 2, 3, 4 years old, I suck. I am terrible. I've never learned a combo path. I don't know how to do block strings. I understand frame data, but I don't apply it. I've never taken it seriously. I've always just played for fun, and it's never really mattered to me. But I'm missing out on so much nuance, and it sucks. And I realize that, especially looking back at like all these really cool tournament moments and hype things. And recently there's been 2 games that have got my attention and I've been wanting to play. But it all kind of starts with an epiphany. So what I'm about to say is a heinous, heinous crime. It is the logical equivalent of pouring your milk before your cereal. I play on a gamepad. It's like a DualShock. And there's a reason why they call it a pad. Because you're supposed to play with the D-pad. I did not. I played with this thing. This thing eats your inputs. This thing prevents you from being a skilled player. And you will always miss your Dragon Punch, Hadoken, whatever it is you're trying to do, because you're using the stick too much. And that was my fatal flaw. And then one day, booting up Grand Blue Fantasy, which is one of the games that we were going to talk about, I went in, I said, fuck this, playing on pad kinda sucks, and I just came on my keyboard, and I pressed S, and I pressed D, and I pressed whatever my punch button was, and my Hadoken came out perfectly. And then it hit me. I just should have bought a hitbox. Which brings me to this. This right here. This, my friends, is Dionysus. This is my homemade mix box that I've been working on for the last couple of months. And the reason I call it Dionysus, for you people who are very educated in Greek mythology, congratulations. But for everyone else, Dionysus is the Greek god of wine and parties. And this thing's made out of an old wine box. And I really love it. It's just the ability to just press down forward plus a button and being able to do something. It feels so innately good to me that it's really just made me want to play fighting games more. And I love them. I love this thing. It's great. Pain in the ass to build. I might talk about it later, but for now, it's whatever. There's probably going to be a cut here, because I'm going to be putting this away very slowly. So you probably heard me mention Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. So why that game? It's not the IP. I know Grand Blue is an amazing mobile game, and believe me, I know my fair share of mobile games. Little too much. But it felt so good to me to play that game. It felt like Street Fighter, but more anime fighter. I love anime fighters, but the fact that they're so convoluted and you have to do all these like insanely long ass combos that take forever, it always turned me off. That was like one of the big things that prevented me from getting into fighting games, is just combos look so intimidating. It's like having a sheet of music in front of you and going, do that, without knowing anything about how to read it or understand it. But with Grand Blue, they have really simplified game mechanics and easy to learn combos and a lot of other noob friendly stuff that really made me enjoy it, and honestly I had a really good time with it. And the other one, which probably shouldn't come as a surprise considering I mentioned it earlier and I used a clip from it, is Street Fighter V. Like, let's be real, Street Fighter is like one of the granddaddies of fighting games, and frankly I should have made this video several months ago when Grand Blue was actually still really popular. I'm hoping maybe at the end of September when Belial comes out, maybe more people will be playing on PC. But realistically, because of the virus and all that, I need to play another fighting game that I know will be at least consistently available. And Street Fighter V especially has been very notorious, but lately they've done a lot of good. And with Champion Edition, I feel like it's actually worth playing the game now. Compared to like 5 years ago when it came out, it was a hot mess. So who do I plan on playing? Well, in Grand Blue, I really love Beelzebub. Beelzebub is my jam. And in Street Fighter, in Third Strike, when I played Third Strike as a kid, I loved Urien. There's probably 3 moments in my life where Street Fighter V was tempting to me. It was the day it came out, or not the day it came out, but just before it came out, they showed some teaser footage, and there was Chun-Li in her battle outfit, and I was like, God damn, what did they do to Chun-Li? I want this game. Didn't buy it. The second time was Urien's trailer. I saw Urien's trailer, and I went, wow, they're bringing some Third Strike characters back. That's unbelievable. Urien's the best. And then the third time was the Seth trailer, because god damn, what the hell did they do to Seth? It is very confusing, and very arousing, and very fun. But ultimately, I've decided on Urien and Juri. Street Fighter 4 probably have the most experience in, and Juri was a newcomer in that game that I really gravitated towards. I did like 5 years of Taekwondo. Any character who does Taekwondo is A-okay in my book, and you know, there's a lot of other reasons to love Juri that I don't think need to be explained. Though now that I think about it, me liking Beelzebub and me liking Urian, maybe I have a type. So the plan, at least for now, is I want to get as much of this journey of mine on stream as possible. Outside of maybe like a few friendlies between some friends of mine that I like playing fighting games with. I told you. Playing against Sinful is all about learning how to spot dodge.
No, learning how to counter spot dodging.
Dude, everyone's spot dodging.
I don't.
Yeah.
No, I said I don't. I just run straight first.
I know. What's a block button?
Block button doesn't exist, dodging doesn't exist, all that exists is aggression.
Yeah. Going.
I was trying to do something, but I was holding the block button, so I wasn't doing anything.
It's reasonable. I'm going to walk away now. I'm walking away.
I'll kick you in the chin! Come here! I'm
Walking
mad.
away.
Come here. No, come here.
The fuck did I just watch?
You saw some footsies. That's what the Street Fighter players call it. Go chill. Oh.
But I did get better at blocking.
Yeah?
Seriously.
Once you get the spot dodges into your combos, it feels so good, dude. You're like, oh, look at that. And then it's my turn. Oh. Foot!
God damn it!
Oh. I thought you wouldn't block it. You've learnt my weakness.
That went straight through you, what the fuck?
No! Play the cutscene! Play the cutscene! Didn't play the cutscene!
Fuck cheater. What
Dude, I love the cutscene. When you have these gloves on, it's the best. But you see
the light
Sinful.
phase through attacks?
Yeah, it causes you to input 6 more skillful inputs, and therefore more skillful. Or maybe grinding for a cosmetic or 2 in Grand Blue Fantasy. Maybe farm some BP or battle cash for stages in Street Fighter. I don't know what you do in Street Fighter, I'll be real. I want every single moment that I possibly can to be on stream so I can experience it with you guys. And if you want to just hop in, give me some advice, I'm more than happy to hear you out. I genuinely want to outsource as much help from the FGC as possible and helping me learn and understand the games that I'm trying to play. Because honestly, you guys are a wealth of information, and I'm going to be really happy to see you there. Otherwise, if you're a newbie like me, come watch. Maybe we'll end up getting a match together, or what have you. You can see the whole thing over at twitch.tv/sinfullp, and if you're watching this video shortly after it's airing, I'll be there right now. So come on in. Keep it sinful, keep it classy, enjoy your cereal, and I'll see you guys another night. Sweet dreams, everyone.